Anyways, doing some wheelies. This is a great parking lot, by the way. I wish I had this myself. And here's the thing.
Come on, dude.
You do you, everybody. That's perfectly fine. Look where he's doing it, though. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. We're not putting anyone else at risk.
I'm good.
If you wanna do what you wanna do, and you wanna crash, you wanna hurt yourself, and you're only affecting yourself, hey, that's your choice. I'm good with that. Now, if you're gonna be doing it out here on the wrong side of the road, looking that way, hey, we're gonna have some problems. All right. So, controlled environment, exactly, Andrew Brunk. You reduce your risks. So for me, from an outside perspective, that was how I was perceiving this. You know, do you without hurting anybody else. But if we're coming from the stunter's perspective or the rider's perspective, because you could do parking lot practice here, he's minimizing risks. So if he does crash, he doesn't have to worry about any vehicles running him over. He also has a big wide open area, so if he does crash, his motorcycle's not going to run into a house. Also, he has good line of sight everywhere, so he knows no other vehicles are here. He has a buddy also double checking there, so if he gets hurt, maybe the buddy can help him out. He's reducing risks. He's doing a very high risk, high skill thing with as many risks reduced. Now, one thing you could do to reduce a little bit more risks, okay, is get yourself a stunt cage, which I believe, you know, a lot of stunters have. I don't know if he has it on this one. I can't tell from here, but you usually see him stick him out. But get yourself at least an armored hoodie. Okay, they have armored hoodies. It's got gloves. These look like normal pants. You see how there's no little bump on that knee? That's usually where the armor is. So get yourself some armor. Reduce a little bit more risk, right? Acquire and utilize personal protective equipment. So there's the fall.
Come on, dude.
Let's go back so I can see the foot a little bit. So these look like moto boots, but definitely not moto pants. Okay, definitely not moto pants. Yeah, those are not moto pants, but those might be moto boots. Okay, they're going to have a little bit of ankle protection, a little bit of sole protection, but I like having mine at least mid-calf because I like to protect that tib fib a little bit more. All right?
Come on, dude.
You're good. All right, anyways, we're going over here, doing some wheelies, doing some fun stuff. Yep. Oh, no buenos.
Bro.
Dude, he just died?
How do you feel? How do you feel?
What the heck?
It's a bike.
It's fucked. It's fucked.
Please tell me you're okay.
How do you feel?
Oh.
A little kind of dramatic. A little dramatic. But psychosomatic issues
Hey, they're spilling gas. They're spilling gas.
Cause physiological issues.
Yeah, make sure there's no gas leaking.
It is leaking.
That thing just like disintegrated.
It's hurt?
His helmet just flew off. You see that? So we didn't have the retention system in.
How's your back though and your neck? You hit your head pretty hard.
His head, yeah.
That
So his leg would look like I caught his leg.
Hey, do you want someone to put your head on?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Where's his helmet?
Or are you just pissed?
Here,
Oh wait.
lift up your head a little bit.
He's pissed.
Can
That's
you?
all it is. He's embarrassed and pissed.
Do you want me to lift up your head?
I think you might have had a little break for you.
Making jokes.
He said, I think you might have had a little.
Here, I'm gonna try to pick your head. Tell me if.
Could be a history of concussion. Yeah, definitely Scarlet.
No, there's a glove. Or are you gonna try to get up?
Because, you know, if you do this for a while, you might be having concussions here and there. All right, so let's just go back just a little bit. I wouldn't be super concerned after I tried talking to him, and if I knew my guy, and I'd be like, hey, all right, he's fine. Let's focus on something else. He's not talking to us. He's kind of embarrassed. And I've dealt with patients like that where they're just embarrassed. So you just kind of work with that. So we're going to get up to here. Now, the mechanism, though, is pretty bad still. Now, the helmet is not really going to be strapped in because you see how quickly it flies off. Let's do half speed. Let's do a little bit less. So we're going to loop the bike. Now, I don't think the bike landed on him too hard, or if it landed on him at all, but we still hit our tailbone, hit our spine, and hit the back of our head. That's why everything flew off, shoulders and everything, and elbows and hands. All that stuff is going to hit. That's why you need to wear gear. So there's the back. And then it could land on your foot right there. That's why you need to have protective gear for your feet. And it's going to be flipping around. Now, look at his helmet, just completely flopping everywhere. There goes his helmet. So that means the retention system either failed, so it means it snapped off, or it wasn't on. So it could be just completely loose. He just put it on real quick, didn't even strap it in with the D-rings or anything like that. or it was put on wrong, super loose, way too loose. So you need to make sure you have it on correctly. So he's going to go ahead and hit the ground. He's going to have everybody come straight to him. Now he's already in the position of like, I'm dead. All right. So it's like, okay, you know, it looks like he could be unconscious. This looks like he could be unconscious.
Bro, how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel?
Now, the unconscious look is a little different than this. This looks like he's keeping his eyes closed. You see some strain in the muscles. It takes a little bit of seeing this all the time to kind of see the difference. So he's doing a good job. The buddy's doing a good job. He's asking questions, doing assessment.
How's the bike?
Okay, so how's the bike? So that means he's conscious and aware. He knows what happened. He knows how it happened. He knows what situation he's in. So he's alert. He's alert. Very good. So we don't have to deal with, he might have had a small concussion, but it didn't affect that part of the brain that's going to mess up with his memory. So we're still good. Now we could have a bleed somewhere. So I'm gonna go down that route. But he's speaking, so he's got an airway. He's breathing, circulation, concussion maybe, probably not. Everything is looking really good. Now my only concerns here are the musculoskeletal, and then maybe some of the actual what's the word? I'm looking for a word here, everybody. But the biological aspect. So, you know, broken blood vessels, broken bones, the torn muscles and ligaments. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the life-threatening stuff at this point.
It's fucked. It's fucked.
So he just lifted his head. You see that? Hey, I caught you. I caught you. I see you. You're looking up. Come on. Get up. Get up.
Please tell me you're okay.
How do you feel?
Oh.
So psychosomatic can actually be a real thing. Okay, so basically your brain and you are telling your body what to do, and it can actually have real effect.
Don't worry about the light. No, I'm worried about it. Scary as fuck. I literally just woke up too.
So don't let it distract you. You could still have injuries.
Gas, we're spilling gas.
And then right there, good job. So it's like, hey, my buddy's fine, but now we're spilling gas, possible flare up, you know, issues. Let's just
Yeah, there's no gas leaking.
It is
Like
leaking.
But here's the thing, I'm glad they did it in an area where it's as safe as possible. There you go. He's doing an assessment. Very good. Checking. Very good.
Back though, and you're.
And that's what you got to do. You got to get your hands. You see what he's doing. Take a look at what he's doing. He's actually using his hands. Now, that's why I want you to use a gloved hand, because you don't want to get blood or anything sharp cutting you also. But he's doing an actual assessment. That's what it looks like. Let's go ahead and look at it.
legs. This hurt?
He's doing an assessment.
Hurt?
You have to do that, and he's actually putting pressure down. Good job on him.
Your back though, and your neck. You hit your head pretty hard.
Hey, Mike, thank you so much. Hey, you're a medic? Whew. That's a lot of work.
Like I caught
Hey,
Mike, what would you think about this guy?
on.
What would you think about this guy? It's like, come on.
Or you just pissed?
Part of being a smart rider is acquiring and utilizing personal protective equipment. So make sure you grab yourself a jacket just like this one from REVZILLA using the link in the description. It's an affiliate link. It helps me out. No extra cost to you. Plus, it lets REVZILLA know that the DanDan crew is pretty badass, and they actually grab some gear. Anyways, click that link. I'll see you soon. All right, so here we go. Riding around, having a good time with our buddies. Group ride. Oh, got a little loss of traction. Kept it up, though. Good job. Scary. Scary. So take a look at this. So we're, not you. No.
much
Yeah,
do I weigh?
okay, let's get past you. There we go. So we're riding around. You can kind of see a little bit like gravel, and it's usually like right here. So as soon as he crosses it over, he's gonna lose a little traction. We're going pretty slow, hard turn on that direct steering, because we're all trying to keep next to each other. There's a lot of marking on the screen. We're trying to keep next to each other. So that's gonna be one of the issues that you have when it comes to group rides like this. I like to make sure I stay staggered, but I also give myself room on turns. And I do nice and wide, and I do it kind of how I want to do it. When it comes to the culture of these bikers like this, you typically don't wear gear. And you don't see it anywhere. Guys, just wear gear. You're like, well, it's too hot. There's plenty of hot weather gear out there. There's a lot of summer riding gear. Go ahead and grab some gear. Links in the description on REVZILLA. It's going to be ddifferentcrew.com/beginner gear. I have a bunch of their Ultra Mesh gear, and I live in Tucson. It's hot as balls here, so just grab yourself some. So see that kind of gravelly area? Nah, it's a no bueno situation. So he's going to lose traction on that front tire, starting to go down, gains traction. Now, if we were going fast, that could have easily been a low or a high side. Thankfully, he was able to handle it, didn't panic, didn't accelerate too hard, didn't slam the brakes, just kind of let the bike do its thing. The bike will want to keep staying up. So, whew, got a little poo-poo in the pantalon, is doing a good job, though. All right, so we're riding around. Very interesting time of day and fogginess. Gotta watch out for gravel because there's not really much of a shoulder. It's doing pretty good, you know, going, oh, you see that gravel on the route? Oh, that was a high side. That's what a high side looks like. This is such a good view of it. Not a good way of crashing and having to deal with it, but we're learning from it. That's the point of an after-action review. We're going to learn from somebody else's mistakes or somebody else's misfortunes so we don't make it ourselves. You'll see that. You'll see the gravel in the road caused him to lose traction, so you have to watch out for road hazards. So he's limping a little bit. His shoe is gone. Gotta check the little brown in the pants. All right. You guys see that on the road? So we're riding around. Look at the road right now. It's pretty much all the same color. Pretty much all the same color. And then we're gonna get up to this turn. You see how it's starting to change a little bit? It's getting a little bit lighter. And now look at that. We're right on the gravel. Now the rider that has the rear-facing camera is also on the gravel. So why is the rider in the behind in the same path? Because we're just following the other rider. So when it comes to stuff like this, we have to be riding our own ride and picking something. Okay, we can't just do that. We can't just sit there and be like, I'm going to follow him. He's going over that. I'm going to go over it too. Well, you could possibly crash. You know, that's just one factor. You could have another factor. You could have bad tires. You could be applying the brakes. You could have accelerated a little bit too hard compared to him. So the rider that has the camera was able to manage it. You didn't. Whatever reason, it doesn't matter. But the thing is, when you're in the middle of a turn, your vision is very important. So you're looking at the exit. So this is what I like to do, everybody. So I like to look at the exit where I'm going. Okay, I'm going. I'm doing some good slow look, press, and roll. I'm leaning into the turn, counter steering. I'm doing good body positioning. I'm looking at the exit. I'm scanning the road, and I'm constantly doing this. Not with my head. I'm exaggerating, but with my eyes, I'm like, because I'm looking for the road itself and seeing what type of debris there is. I'm looking at the exit, so I make sure I focus on the exit. I'm looking here. I'm looking at the exit. I'm scanning the whole time until I exit out. And that's so I can see if there's any of this type of gravel. That's what I'm looking for. Gravel, trees, leaves, people laying in the road. You never know. So right here. So it's going to be oh, we're getting into a low side. Oh, front tire gained traction. Why did the front tire gain traction? The rear tire is still losing traction. Look where the tires are at. One is on the asphalt. The rear tire is still on the gravel. Now we're going to get a little bit further. See how the rear tire is still sliding? This one gained traction. We're getting off it, right? The rear tire gained traction. Foot's going to go out naturally. Everything gained traction, but the gyroscopic forces are all screwed up, and we flipped. And this is going to be a high side, and then there's going to be the hands and face. So imagine not having a helmet. Just a helmet. Let's say not a helmet. You could be missing your jaw. Ripped off. People like to think, oh, my body is my body. Nothing bad could never really happen to my body. I will retain all pieces of my body for the rest of my life. No, you're not. Balding is just one of them, but traumatic removal of pieces of your body, that can happen in an instant, and you can't prepare for it all the time. So make sure you wear full gear. All right, so we're riding here, Captain Muffins. All right, side of the vehicle. Ooh, good job adapting. Not much we could talk about on this one. There's not much we really need to. Let's see if he does anything else. Nope, that was it. So remember, intersections, orange stage. I think he's doing good. He's not going too crazy. It says 92, so maybe he is. 92. 96. no way. There's no way he's going that fast. All right. So here's the thing. One thing I want you guys to pay attention to is that intersections should be slowing down. Yeah, it's got to be Canada. Not, you got to be paying attention to these right turners. Remember, right turners and left turners are very dangerous for motorcycle riders. Got to be really careful with that. So if you needed to, adapt by switching the left lane. But he did a great job. Good job on the swerving. Good job on navigating that. Get yourself out of there. You didn't create an issue afterwards. I'm okay with this.
Taking turns way too fast. Okay, now we could talk about left turns like right here at intersections, and then you used to get that low side because it's a 90-degree turn and we're kind of at a stop and then we have to gun it. Well, you're gonna get too much tire rotation and not enough traction, causing things to kind of slip out from underneath you. And that's a pretty simple thing to explain, especially out here in town. When we're out though in the mountains and twists, we're doing kind of the same thing, but we're not too concerned about that low side too much. What's happening is we're taking it too fast and we start to go wide, boom! Exit the corner the wrong way, going off a cliff or hitting the sign or hitting a guardrail because we went too fast. We didn't do enough counter steering. We didn't do enough anything, and we're having issues with that. So make sure we're not doing that. And then we do have low side issues when it comes to that, because then you try to compensate and you try to get the bike super far leaned down and then it just washes out. So taking turns too fast, how do we mitigate that, everybody? We talked about gear, how to mitigate injuries. How do we mitigate taking turns too fast? Well, it's in the name. Take it a little bit slower. Slow, look, press, and roll. Before it turns, slow down. So let's do this. So I'm going to slow down now, and it's a yellow light. Well, I got to stop. Anyways, I'm slowing down, and then I was going to take the turn at under 20 miles per hour. I wasn't going to take the turn 35 or 40 like the speed limit. I was going to do slow down. I was going to look where I needed to go, press initiate counter steering, and then roll on the throttle to get out. So make sure you do that when you're out riding. We do have plenty of videos on DanDanTheFireman that kind of explains why you need to do it, because we see people crashing on those and explain all these different things, okay?
We just watched a ton of close calls and crashes. Now, if this is something you like, please show it to me by clicking that like button and commenting down below. Now, here's the thing. You have to submit your own videos in order for this to happen. So if you want to, there's a link in the description for that. But go ahead and check out this video right here, and then maybe this one right here. This one's actually pretty dang good. I had a ton of fun with this one. I'll be seeing you guys around.